Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know that I'm a homer. I know that I have biases that, even though my face is red, it really should be blue. And as a journalism student, I believe in being objective and backing up my arguments with numerical information from multiple different sources. And I'm gonna do this in a couple of short clips because I want to be able to choose my words very carefully. But I think that Auston Matthews is having an underrated season, and we need to talk about it. Now, I know Auston Matthews gets a lot of attention. The Toronto Maple Leafs get a lot of attention. The Toronto Maple Leafs also have a lot of fans. But I also think that all that attention makes people afraid to actually give Matthews the credit that he deserves. And the proof of that is the amount of individual awards that players have won while playing for the team in the Maple Leafs' 100+ years of existing. Now, I'm not talking about Alexander McGillney winning the Lady Byng Trophy for gentlemanly conduct, and I'm not talking about Matt Sundin winning the Mark Messier Leadership Award. I'm talking about Auston Matthews winning the Calder Trophy. That's a major award in 16-17. I'm talking about Doug Gilmour winning the Selke Trophy in, 92, 93? I'm talking about Jack Adams Awards, Vezina Trophies, Ted Lindsay Awards, Norris Trophies, Hart Trophies. Those are the ones that I'm talking about. This is a very short list for an organization with over 100 years of history. Auston Matthews currently has 34 goals in 49 games played, which equates to about a 57-goal pace. And if you take a look at individual seasons here, that would be the third highest goal total for an individual season since the 04-05 lockout. But let's take a little bit of a step further and look at since the year 2000, since the start of the millennia, a 57-goal season would be good for a top 5 individual goal scoring year. This guy's got a legit shot at scoring 60 goals, which would be the first time a player did that in the NHL since Steven Stamkos did it in the 11-12 season, and his name's not being nominated for any of the major awards out there. And he's doing it while having been on a team who had a coach for the first 20 games of the year that called goal scoring dumb! I don't know why it took so long to fire that guy. Yeah, but Steven, he doesn't really play defense, and his offensive zone starts are way higher than his defensive zone starts. Yeah, well, it doesn't really make much sense to me to pay a guy $11.634 million a season who's an elite goal scorer and have him do anything other than score goals. But in all honesty here, while we're watching the games and when we're taking a look at the numbers, Auston Matthews has been delightfully better defensively this season. But for those of you that would like to see some of the fancy stats, his Corsi percentage relative to the rest of his teammates has been better this year than it has in his career. And that's also apparent when you take a look at the goals for percentage relative to his teammates, and of course all of these stats are at 5-on-5. Now, I'm not really one to bicker too much about face-off percentage because game to game, you're not really going to notice a difference between 48 and 52%. But when you're up around 55%, that is something that you're going to notice on a game-to-game basis, and especially in small samples. And there was a huge narrative going on for about 5 or so games earlier on in the season that the Maple Leafs cannot use Auston Matthews to take defensive zone draws. Well, he's sitting up around 49%. So you'd like it to be better, but it's really just a wash at that point. And this was never really a conversation before because it was always very clear who the Toronto Maple Leafs' MVP was, and that was Frederik Andersen. But when we take a look at this season, the Maple Leafs sit 24th in terms of team save percentage, so their goaltending has actually sort of hurt them this year, and especially as of recently. So if we're going to talk about who's been the Maple Leafs' MVP thus far, it's not Frederik Andersen, it's not the coach. I love Sheldon Keefe, but he hasn't been here long enough. It's not John Tavares, he missed time with injury. Mitch Marner missed time with injury. Morgan Rielly missed time with injury. It's very clearly Auston Matthews. So what do I want? What do I want for Auston Matthews here? What should happen with this? Well, I'm going to tell you what I don't want. I don't want a Ted Lindsay Award. I don't want the second MVP award. I want the Hart Trophy. And I'm not even necessarily saying that he should win, but I'm saying that he should at least be nominated in the top 3. Look, it's so clearly Connor McDavid that we shouldn't even worry about who's first anymore. Who's second in that race should matter a lot more. And right now, the Hockey Writers Association, the PHWA, announced its mid-season award winners, and the Hart Trophy nominations go to Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, and David Pastrnak. And you know what? David Pastrnak and Nathan MacKinnon are amazing players. Hell, David Pastrnak might even finish the season with more goals than Auston Matthews. And yes, both the Boston Bruins and Colorado Avalanche are sitting pretty in a playoff spot, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are not. But you want to know what those teams have that the Leafs do not? Goaltending. Who knew that you couldn't win games without decent goaltending? I'll tell you, about 75% of all coaches that were fired ever. There was conversations of Phil Kessel potentially being a coach killer when he was here in Toronto, and then Jack Eichel in Buffalo. No, regular skaters are not coach killers. Goaltenders are coach killers. There's a very real possibility that Auston Matthews could score 55 to 60 goals and drag the injury-ridden, no goaltending having Toronto Maple Leafs by the ear right into the playoffs, while still overcoming a wrist injury and being coached by Mike Babcock. So guys, make sure to leave me a like on this video and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, just remember throughout your day, throughout your week, wherever you are, that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to make the playoffs, and Auston Matthews is an all-generational elite talent goal scorer.